what's up, everybody? Back again for another real estate class. I was bumping some Lee Morgan. If any of you guys been tuning into any of the other classes, um, my uncle really he put me on a lot of jazz. So I've been rocking with a lot of jazz lately. Trying to just step out, listen to some different music and stuff like that. But anyways, so we're back again with another real estate class. We're gonna dive into first-time home buyer programs and down payment assistance. They can go hand in hand. They're gonna look different. It's gonna be different based on where you guys are located at. Every state has their own different program. There's a lot of different programs out there. So we're gonna kind of dive into them. For those of you guys that are in the class right now, if you guys could do me a favor and drop what state you're in. If I have any of you guys that are kind of in multiple states, we'll kind of take a look at their program a little bit deeper so you guys can kind of get a good idea. I've already covered probably about 17 to 20 different states. I see a couple Calis on here. I think that's the first one I've seen where multiple people are at. So I think we'll take a look at their program. But a lot of good stuff. And me personally, just the state of the market of kind of where we're at with interest rates, kind of where we're at with the prices of homes. I think it would be in people's best interest to learn up about these programs and take advantage of them as best as they can before we kind of get to a point to where even with utilizing some of these programs, it would just be too out of reach for most people, just for the simple fact that the monthly payment would just be too much. And I was talking with one of our members in the Wealth Squad chat, and he was out in the Colorado area, and he's saying that's kind of where him and his family are kind of stuck at right now. They have a rental property that's out in Arizona, but they currently reside in Colorado, and they're looking to find a house, and rates are just so high. And the income that they're getting from their property is kind of up and down because it's a short-term rental. So some months will be great, some months will be bad, but they're kind of stuck in that portion to where any type of house that they find on a low end is going to be costing them about $2,500 to $3,000 a month just for their mortgage. And if they were to rent like a apartment or a condo or something like that, they'll be looking at the $2,000 to $2,200 range. So they can't even find anything kind of that would be more beneficial for them, right? If you're going to be paying $2,200 a month to pay down somebody else's, principal and interest, and pay down this for them a couple extra $100, and they could just do it for themselves. So they're kind of in that point right now to where they're trying to figure out what route they want to go. I'm gonna keep in contact with him, kind of bounce some ideas off of him and things like that. But I think right now, kind of where we're at is a good time to take advantage of these programs while you guys still can. And not saying that the programs are going anywhere, just saying kind of where we're at right now with interest rates and then also the value of homes. So someone just asked me a question, do I think interest rates will go back to 3 to 4%? Potentially, way down the road, though. I don't see us. This is just my personal opinion. I could be wrong. I could be right. My personal opinion is I don't think we'll see those type of rates for at least the next decade. That's my personal opinion. I think the lowest that we'll potentially maybe get to is maybe the 5s, if that, right? And I personally don't even think we'll go that low again for at least another 3 to 5 years. If you guys keep up with what's going on, a lot of these big companies like BlackRock, even companies like Zillow and these other places are scooping up houses cash. They know what they're doing. I believe the value of homes is going to go back up before they crash down, a lot of that stuff. And rent is just going to keep doing what it's continued to do pretty much forever. It's going to keep going up, right? So even if there is a slightly dip in the value of homes in the near future, I don't think it's going to be anything significant enough to where everybody's going to be rushing to try to get these homes just for the simple fact that rates are still so high. I think it's going to create a better advantage for these bigger companies and people who are cash heavy to be able to kind of take advantage and get a slight little discount before we run up. So I think home values are going to run past where they ran up in 2022. And I believe that's going to happen within the next few years or so. I think we'll kind of hold steady for a little bit longer. I think rates will kind of slowly keep increasing, keep dipping. But if you guys go back and look at numbers and statistics, we're kind of at the average for about the last couple of decades of where interest rates used to be. So the people that took advantage when rates got below 7%, those are the people who are winning right now because they took advantage when rates got below what the average was, right? The average was about 7%. That's kind of about where we're at right now. So those people that were able to lock in those 2%, those 3%, those 4%, more than likely that's going to be their forever home, because it wouldn't make sense to get out of that to get into something more expensive and have a higher rate. So a lot of people that got those homes at those cheap prices will probably be in those homes for a really long time. And yeah, so that's kind of my opinion on that. Anyone in here have experience in tax lien investing? A good way to get in the real estate game. It's getting a lot more competitive. I personally haven't closed any deals or done anything with it. I've taken some courses and did some classes, done a lot of research on them. It can be a good way to get in it. It's very competitive, but what isn't competitive right now? So it's like those things that when you look at like tax lien investing, tax deed investing, when you guys look at things like getting properties from auctions and, foreclosures and stuff like that, yes, you can find great deals, but it's going to be very competitive, right? And there's not going to be those people that are in those markets and they tend to stay in them for a while because they know how great it can be in the long run. So I would say if you're curious in that, go deeper in it and don't stop with it until you can start closing deals and kind of get a better understanding of it. Those areas that are very competitive and not many people are doing, those are the ones you want to get into. The reasoning for that is because you can get deals for super cheap and it's going to pay you longer. It's going to pay you more kind of on the back end. So not many people, but very competitive for the people that are within that world. Tax liens, tax deeds, foreclosures, and auction properties. All right, so let me bring up something really quick. All right, so before we kind of look at, before we kind of take a deeper dive into the first-time homebuyer programs for those of you in Cali, we might take a look at a few of them, just depending on how long we go. But some of the best, and I guess it's all speculative of how you decide of what's considered best or not. But in my opinion, some of the states that have some of the best first-time homebuyer programs are going to be Washington, Montana, North Dakota, Connecticut, Ohio, New York, Colorado, Tennessee, North Carolina, and New Jersey. And I also like Florida, and I also like Texas. So if you guys are in any of those states, you guys absolutely need to be taking advantage of the programs that you guys offer and have in your states. You can almost get into a house literally with no money down or anything like that. So down payment assistance is provided in the form of a loan or a grant to cover part of the upfront money that lenders require to buy a house. So they're offered by your state or by local housing agencies or nonprofit agencies. Down payment assistance programs are geared towards first-time home buyers or low and moderate income borrowers, but you don't necessarily have to be low or moderate income to be able to qualify for these. It's just really to encourage home ownership and, provide a better way for home ownership to be more affordable, for certain people in certain asset classes. So the way how they work, so they'll come in either a form of a grant or a loan, or just depending on whatever that program offers, and you'll get the down payment assistance, right? So you'll have to qualify for the mortgage, and you'll have to meet whatever lender you go through. You'll have to meet whatever their income requirements are, whatever their credit requirements are, and whatever their down payment assistance program guidelines are going to be, right? So it's going to look different based on where you guys are at. There's not one blanketed program that's just nationwide. This is how it is. So it's going to vary. Some states are only loan forms to where you have to pay them back. Some states are grant to where you don't have to pay them back, and they have certain stipulations behind them, and we'll kind of dive into that a little bit. Most of them will be like if you refinance, if you sell or anything like that, then you'll have to pay it back. But some of them, it will be a 0% grant. And it's just kind of on that stipulation on if you sell or if you refinance in a certain time period. Some will be the length of the loan. So like I said, it's just going to vary based on wherever you guys are at. All of these are going to require homebuyer educational courses. If you guys go through all, most of the basic classes that I've done, like to start, it will just kind of be a refresher of that. So a lot of them are just going to be talking about the program, talking about what does it take to be a homeowner, different programs out there to help in case you kind of get over your head and you're maybe not able to make your mortgage and things like that. They have a lot of programs out there for people. So it's kind of more of an educational thing, even though it's a class. Most of them are free. I don't think I've seen any that require any payment. I think I might have seen one out there that requires a payment. But other than that, they're usually about 4 to 8 hours, just kind of depending on where you're at. But they're easy classes, nothing difficult, nothing that you have to like be prepared or stressed about. It's just supposed to inform you and help you become a homeowner, let you know, hey, okay, as a homeowner now, you're having these responsibilities. If something goes wrong, you're going to have to pay for it. All the utilities are on you. You have things like taxes, insurance now that you have to pay for, whatever the tax is, all these other things. So kind of just letting you know stuff like that. How you'll qualify and who can qualify is going to be, it's going to be different. There's so many, some of them will say you cannot have owned a home in 3 years. Some of them, it doesn't matter. Some of them, you'll be a single parent. You have to be a single parent home who has only owned a home with their former spouse while married. Like I said, there's so many different things to what can qualify you and to what can disqualify you. And like I said, it's going to be based on whatever state you guys are in and what those requirements are. And like I said, I told you guys what the grants are. There's another thing called an IDA, right? This is the individual development account or a match savings program. So this one is for if you're low income borrowers. IDAs are programs where borrowers can deposit money into a designated account and their funds are matched by the governing institution. So let's say you were to deposit $3,000 into an IDA, the sponsoring institution will duplicate your deposit. So you'll have $6,000 to put towards a down payment program. I believe Washington State has something like that. I forget what other states do have that. Like I said, that's going to vary as well. That's something you guys would want to look into. They come in the form of forgivable second mortgages with 0 interest rates. So pretty much meaning, forgivable mortgage loan, also known as a soft second mortgage, are no interest home loans typically used towards the down payment. Program rules and requirements differ, but usually borrowers are not obligated to repay a forgivable loan as you own your home for whatever those required number of years are. Some it may be 10, some it may be 5. It varies wherever you're at. And borrowers who move or sell their home before the live-in period expires will likely be required to pay back the loan. So keep that in mind. You'll have a deferred payment mortgage. Deferred payment loan is another type of no interest second mortgage that you can use towards your down payment. Generally, the loan payments do not kick in until you move, sell, or refinance your home, or when you finish paying your first mortgage, or there'll be a low interest second mortgage, right? So a low interest second mortgage is a home loan that buyers can use to put towards their down payment. Borrowers must pay on these loans each month, but the advantage is that they come with low interest rates. If you get a low interest loan for your home down payment, remember that you will have 2 mortgage payments each month. So you'll have your mortgage payment that you have to pay, which is your P&I, your principal and interest, and then you'll have the second mortgage, for getting this money to help you get into a home. So depending on how you look at it, some of you guys are going to be lucky and blessed just based on whatever state you're in and what your state offers. And then some of you are going to have to pay whatever that grant is, whatever that, down payment assistance is, just based on whatever state you're in. There's other programs out there. Like there's different programs for people who are part of maybe a specific tribe. And I actually want to send that in the chat. And I don't even know what the right terminology is to use, but for those of you guys that live on, if you live or if you're a part of a tribally owned enterprise. They have a lot of programs and assistance for you out there. I don't know. Let me see. Let me send this to you guys. Let me send the link. Give me 1 second. Yeah, I don't know what the right terminology is to call, but that's the website you guys can go to if you have any, is Native American the right terminology to use? If you're Native American or have some type of Native ties, there's a lot of great programs for you guys out there. So if you do qualify for any of that, please take advantage. Don't be afraid to take advantage of these programs that you guys can. It doesn't mean that you're less than, like, who cares? You know what I'm saying? If you can get into a property and you don't have to worry about paying anything, whether if it's the government paying it, your city paying it, whatever the case may be, take advantage of it. So, all right. So kind of, do you guys have any questions on any of that before we kind of run through, we're going to run through California. I see 2 people said they were from California. I don't think I've seen anywhere else where we have 2 people from, maybe Cali, let's see, AZ, New York, Virginia, Jersey, Texas, Washington, DC. Yeah, so we'll do Cali, and we might look at another one too. All right, we got a few people in here from Cali. All right. So Georgia has a good first-time program, first-time homebuyer program. New York actually has a good first-time homebuyer program, surprisingly. So the bad thing about New York is that it's so expensive to live out there. So if you guys, for those of you guys that do live out in New York, it would be beneficial for you to kind of go in those areas where it's not more expensive. And I did a class on the first-time homebuyer program in New York, and we actually went through and looked at some real estate, and then I set the guidelines to fall under kind of what you would qualify for if you were to use one of those programs. And they were kind of more like upstate, like up north, like outside of the Buffalo area, had some properties that were decent. Like, it wasn't, like I said, when you guys utilize these programs, I want you guys to keep this type of stuff in mind. You're getting assistance from the government, so they're not going to put you into your dream home, right? So the reasoning for these programs and taking advantage of it is to just, you're going to have to live somewhere. No matter what, no matter how you look at it, you got to live somewhere. If you can get the government to put you into a house, of all things, like, we're not talking an apartment somewhere that, you might have to eventually move out. We're talking like a home that's yours, that it's, yes, you got the assistance from the government. Yes, they paid all this stuff to help you move into it, but it's in your name. It's not going to be in the government's name. It's going to be in your name. This is your home. You'll be able to paint it whatever color you want to paint it. You'll be able to upgrade it to whatever you want to upgrade. If you want to add a bath, if you want to add a room, if you want to do this, all the equity that you get, that's all coming to you, right? And you're going to need somewhere to stay. You're going to need somewhere to live. So why not take advantage of that stuff? So, all right, let me not get sidetracked. So let me share my screen with you guys. I hope you guys are doing good too. It's been a crazy month. Goodness gracious. All right, boom, boom, boom. Can you guys all see my screen? I'm on Google. I just want to make sure before I get going that everyone can see. Just simple thumbs up in the chat or something. Yep, cool. All right. So first, before we look at the first-time homebuyer program, let's just kind of look at California down payment assistance program. So you guys can, whatever state you guys are in, you can see it's already highlighted. I looked at it many times. So whatever state you guys are in, you can just simply do that, right? Google will be a good friend of yours. Google and YouTube, are going to be great friends for you. Or you guys can go to HUD.gov. Let me put that in. Or you guys can go here, and then you guys will be able to see a lot more of what your state offers. It's just HUD.gov. Let me send it in the chat just to make it easy for you guys. Oh, where's the chat? I think I lost it. Here we go. Okay, and you guys can go there as well and just see all type of different programs and stuff that your state offers. Okay, so all of your guys' websites and stuff are going to look different. for some of you guys, it's not going to be as simple as typing in whatever state you're in and first time home buyer program. It's going to be a bunch of other BS and other stuff that's going to take you. It's going to be like other websites. You're kind of wanting to find like the .gov, and then you'll kind of know. And if it's a little bit harder for you to kind of find yours, then you can definitely go on here and go into what is it? Home ownership. Forever. Yeah. Or you can just go up here, click state info, buying a home, and then go down to, where's that? Home programs, this one right here. Learn about programs for your state. Find this and then click your state. So here, I'm about to make it easy for you guys. That's why I'm here, to make it as easy as possible. Click this, it'll take you straight here. Then you just click your state, and then this will bring up all your state's program. Well, not all, but a good portion of them. I don't know if there's going to be any programs that your state offers and it's not on the HUD website. Like I said, don't quote me on that. I'm not 100% sure, but if your state has a program, more than likely it's going to be on the HUD website. Okay. All right. So here we go. Boom, boom. Let's start from the beginning. It just took me straight to that because I had already clicked on it before. So for California, the California Housing Finance Agency, there's another program out there. It's called Golden something. I believe that's the I forget what that one's called, but when I did the class for California, I covered it not too long ago. But anyways, you guys can go through here. If you're a home buyer, whatever it is that you're looking for, if you guys are a lender or agent, if you're looking for different multifamily programs, if you're having a hardship, having issues being able to pay rent, whatever the case may be. If you're just looking for some education, there's Black home ownership initiatives, racial equity action plans, all that type of stuff. Times are better, but we still deal with a lot of craziness. And then there's other, payment options, frequently asked questions, all that good stuff. Check out some numbers and see what's going on, see if there's anything happening in your area. And, I would recommend, if you guys have the time and there's ever something going on in your area, and like I said, check it out. Why not? You just never know what type of information. Never stop being hungry for information, you guys. When you think that you know it all, or when you get comfortable and you feel like you're good, that's when shit decides to hit the fan. And then now you're scrambling, trying to figure stuff out. Feed yourself with as much knowledge as you can, because that, you want to do things when things don't hit the fan, right? You want to put yourself in the best situation, so that way when things do hit the fan, you don't even have to, think about it or be stressed about it, because you already know, oh, this is about to happen. Boom, they got this to be able to help me out. I'm good to go. All I got to do is fill this out, fill that out, and I'm good to go. So never stop educating yourself. Don't feel like you're above going to something as simple as a workshop or a meetup. Like, never feel like you're just too above anything. Just keep getting as much knowledge. It's good for networking. You're meeting other people who are, you got to think, there's not many people going to these programs. So the people that are going are hungry for more. They're trying to learn. They're either teaching and educating. Go ask, get as much knowledge as you can. Say, hey, I'm, thinking about potentially getting into developing, and I just got some land from a family member that passed away. I don't really know what to do. You might meet someone that's a land specialist that does that, and it's like, maybe not that, it might be something else, but you guys get what I'm talking about. So let's click on it. And then you got, different borrower eligibility, property eligibility, loan programs, find a loan officer. Like I said, this real estate stuff, the hardest part is just trying to really figure out what route you want to go and how you want to go about it. Are you looking for a single family home? Are you looking for a multi-family home? Are you looking to get a new build? So it's like, once you kind of get enough education, you can kind of get a better idea of, okay, I think this might work best for me because this is what I'm trying to do. Then you really contact a lender, you contact a realtor. Your lender and your realtor are going to pretty much do the rest of the work for you. They can't really work for you if you don't really know what it is that you want or what it is that you're trying to do. The more that you can bring to them, the easier this process will be and the smoother it will be, and you'll be able to get into whatever it is that you want. Let's see. Learn about different financing options. Like I said, there's You guys, there's so much information on here. Like I said, you guys just, take a little bit of time out of your day, go through this stuff. You can really, it's not even going to take you that long to go through really all of this stuff. So here's some of the loan programs. I clicked on loan programs. Here's the programs that they currently offer. Right now, they offer the Cal FHA, the Cal Plus, for the VA, for USDA, that's rural investing, conventional loans, and Cal HFA conventional, and the Cal Plus conventional, and the My Home. So just a little bit about those programs. These ones are the government loans. These ones are the conventional loans. So you got this program right here, the Cal HFA FHA program is an FHA insured loan featuring a Cal HFA 30-year fixed interest rate, first mortgage. Let's see, the what is it? The Plus is an FHA insured mortgage with a slightly higher 30-year fixed interest rate than the standard FHA program is combined with the Cal HFA zero interest program for closing costs. So that one seems pretty good. That's the one I would look at. If you guys are in the military and you qualify, or if you're out of the military, you're a veteran, whatever the case may be, as long as you separated with honorable discharge, you qualify with your VA. As long as you met your time requirement, you can qualify for that. USDA, you guys would be very surprised on what qualifies for USDA. So USDA is a zero down type of loan program that you guys can use. A lot of people don't even look at it because USDA is for rural investing, rural real estate. So meaning like you're out in the boondocks, right? But rural investing doesn't necessarily mean, I don't even want to say it, but what I was going to say, but in the middle of nowhere, pretty much, right? It doesn't mean that you're out way deep out in the boonies and you're not next to anything. So there's a town about 45 minutes from Vegas. It's called, what's the name of that town? It's like the next biggest town outside of Vegas. It's like 45 minutes away. I think there's like maybe 20,000 people that live there, 15,000 to 20,000 people live there. Yeah, that's a lot smaller than Vegas, but 15 to 20,000, it's not a huge town, but it's not necessarily 5 to 100 or even 1,000. There's a lot of towns out there with 1,000 people would qualify. And this is actually something I'm trying to utilize. Matter of fact, I'll pull up one from my realtor and show you guys. She just sent me on Friday, she just sent me a property. Boop, boop, boop. Right. Forum, I think is what it's called. Let me click on it. I'm gonna show you guys. So it's a town called Forum. I don't even know exactly how big it is. It looks like it's pending right now. She just sent this to me, one of my realtors. So let me see if you guys can see this one. I don't know if you guys will be able to see from the glare. But there's the details if you guys want to look it up. So it's out in Forum. It's a 3-bedroom, 2 full bath, 1,400 square feet. And this qualifies, and it's only 45 minutes outside of Vegas. This will qualify for me to use the USDA home loan on. I'd be able to move into this with zero money down. It's a little bit harder when you have real estate already because it's not supposed to be when you get the USDA home loan, it's not technically supposed to be considered like an investment property. So there's always workarounds with things, right? So I'm currently actively looking. She sent me this on Friday. So I'm currently actively looking for a property to take advantage of this. I'm going to have to do a few things, right? I'll probably have to, make it my primary resident for a little bit just to qualify and do all those things. And then I'll be able to turn around, rent it out. And I literally just got a property for free. It takes a little bit of work and things like that. And you got to go through some hoops and stuff, but it's a possibility. Let me see what you guys are talking about in the chat. No, not Henderson. I don't think Henderson. I think the closest area that qualifies for USDA and like outside of Vegas is Forum. And I don't even know if I'm even saying it right, but it's only like a 40, 50 minute drive. Like it's nothing. But my point is, make sure you guys are checking that. You can go on the USDA, I think it's USDA.gov, I believe. You can go on the USDA website, type in your state, and you guys just start looking, right? You know, if you guys are kind of already in those towns that are like 20,000 people or less, 15,000 people or less, you might qualify. You might be at home and be able to qualify for it, or you might be from a smaller town and you can take advantage of it, right? You know, if you have family out there, it's like you go get it. You have people there already that can possibly look after it for you after you do everything you need to do to be able to qualify, move in it. And then when you decide to move out and rent it out, if you got family and friends or people already there, take advantage, you guys. Take advantage of, I'm telling you guys, take advantage of all these programs that you can. All right. All right. So conventional loan. So I did a whole class. If you guys don't understand the difference between the FHA loan and the conventional loan, in short, FHA, you can get, you know, if your credit and your debt to income and everything matches up, you can get the government to pay 97.5% of the down payment for you to get into the property. Conventional, you can get as low as 3%. So you would, you know, you'd be on the hook for 3% on the conventional side. You'd be on the half for 3.5% on the FHA side. With conventional, you need to have more funds available after you close. With FHA, not so much. They both will come with what's called MIP, mortgage insurance premium, which you have to pay every month. With the FHA, you have to pay a small fee up front, and then you have to pay a small fee every month. That's just for them giving you the loan. You can do you have a little bit more leeway with conventional than you do with FHA. That's pretty much kind of some of the main short differences between both. I did a class on both of them, conventional loan and FHA loan. If you guys want to go back, they're in the university section. Okay. All right. So the meat and potatoes, the part that we were here for, the down payment assistance, right? So here we go. This is what they say. So the money you put down or the down payment on your home loan can be one of the largest hurdles for many first-time home buyers. That's why Cal HFA offers several options for down payment and closing cost assistance. This type of assistance is often called a second or a subordinate loan. Cal, that's a tongue twister because I'm thinking it's about to say Cal FHA, but Cal HFA's subordinate loans are silent seconds, meaning payments on this loan are deferred, so you do not have to make a payment on this assistance until your home is either sold, refinanced, or paid in full. This helps to keep your monthly mortgage payment affordable. And we have a member in California that I help with this. They end up closing a property utilizing this program. Let's see. So if you were to go with this Cal HFA government loan program, My Home offers a deferred payment junior loan of an amount up to the lesser of 3.5% of the purchase price or appraised value to assist with down payment and closing. So if you guys have attended any of my other classes or attended any if you guys have attended any of my other classes or rewatched them, it costs about 5 to 7% of the value of the home when you're closing a deal, because what happens is you have your down payment. So let's say you go the FHA route, you qualify for FHA, you have to be on the hook for 3.5% of the down payment. So let's say you find $100,000 property. I know they're not out there right now. Well, out in the Midwest, there's still some out there. But anyways, if you go the FHA route, the government's covering they're covering most of it, right? You have to come up with 3.5% of the down payment. So if it's $100,000 property, you have to come up with $3,500. That's just for the down payment. You also have what's called closing costs. So the closing costs are going to vary depending on what lender you go through, what you get rolled into your loan, all these other things. It typically comes out to anywhere from another additional 3.5% to maybe 3 to maybe 2.5 to maybe 2%, just depending on what route you go. So you're looking at anywhere from about 5 to 7% is what it's going to cost you to get into a home. So if you find a $100,000 home, you can just kind of say, okay, this is going to cost me about $7,000, right? Anywhere in the range of that. So every 100,000 you go up, 200,000, it would be 14,000, and so on and so on. And that's just if you qualify for the 3.5% down payment if you were to qualify for the 3% for the conventional loan. So all these different things kind of matter and will determine exactly how much you got to come out of pocket. Okay. If you were to go the Cal HFA conventional loan, My Home offers a deferred payment junior loan of an amount up to the lesser of 3% of the purchase price or appraised value to assist with down payment and closing costs. So very straightforward, to the point. California has another down payment assistance program. Let me see if I can find that real quick. California. I want to find the other one I did the class. There's another one that they have. It wasn't that. It was this one. Here we go. Here's another one I want you guys to check out as well. Do you guys have any questions on any of that stuff that I just covered? Does that make sense? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to send that directly to Chino. If you must have been the last person to send a message. Let me send it to all you guys. There you go. Does that make sense to you guys? Do you guys kind of understand how to find it for your state? You know, kind of how to navigate through this and take advantage of these programs. There's a member right now that's getting ready to close another deal. Man, it's dope. We've been having a lot of members closing some deals lately, taking advantage of these programs. This is why I really love, you know, I wish I would have known about, you know, down payment assistance and these different first-time homebuyer programs. I didn't know about these when I first got into real estate. So once I, you know, heard about these, for me, it's like, you know, I'm jumping for joy. I literally tell everybody I know, but people just don't take advantage of it. And I don't understand. I don't know if people don't think that they're real, but this is why Chris has me on here preaching it to you guys and helping you guys out, because this is what members are using to close deals. And I think that's so dope. We got people getting into deals without even putting money down. And, you know, I think that's, to me, that's dope. I don't know of a bigger, you know, we call it a lick, hitting a lick. I don't know of a better, I don't even know what a different way to say hitting a lick is, a better come up, right? I don't know. Like, I don't know, you guys. Like, for me, just knowing what real estate can do, being in real estate, like being able to get into a deal with maybe only having to cover 1%, 2%, depending on where you're at, no percent, that's insane. Like, we're talking about you potentially getting into a $300,000, $400,000, $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 property. And some states will even allow you to get into a multifamily utilizing these programs. I mean, it's literally a no-brainer. You want to talk about a cheat code to building wealth? This is your guys's, this is that. Like, this is no shortcut. This is none of that. This is just taking advantage of what's out there for you. And I don't know if people are just ashamed to ask for help or get assistance. I don't care how much money I got. If there's a way for me to be like, I don't need to get this I don't need to go through all these hoops to get this property using the USDA home loan. Like, I don't need to do all that. But it's like, are you kidding me? I can get into this and all I got to do is maybe go, you know, make it my primary. Just because it's my primary, I don't have to necessarily live there. It just has to be on paper. It has to be my primary resident, right? They don't know if you're actually like staying there. Like, yes, I can make it my primary resident. I can get mail sent there, but you don't have to necessarily be in there. Like, yeah, you got to be there. It has to be your primary resident. Like, you guys get what I'm saying? Like, I can just leave it empty until I meet the requirement to be able to do whatever I need to do with it. Like, I literally just got a crib for free and that I'll be able to eventually rent and make money from. Like, it's a no-brainer. So it's literally a no-brainer, but that's a whole different story. All right, let me see. All right, so I did a whole class on this, so I kind of don't, we're already kind of, you know, running up on the time. So I don't necessarily want to run through this again, but this is just another one. So, you know, you guys out in Cali, you guys got some good programs. Oh yeah, this is another one that I found out about late in the game that I love preaching about. Anytime I find something good, I try to tell everybody about it. I'm not one of them people who tries to like hoard information and feel like it's gonna, you know, take away from me. This MCC is so crazy to me, and it's crazy because someone just put Henderson. So if you live in Henderson, Henderson meets the area to live in. So if you guys aren't familiar with Vegas, it's broken up into like 6 different areas. You got like Summerlin, you got Henderson, you got like the Centennial area, you got like Spring Valley, North Vegas. So it's kind of broken up into like, I don't know what to call it, regions or whatever. So this MCC program, which in time can, you can potentially save up to 30,000. And I'll kind of explain to you guys what it is. I could have got a house out there and qualified for this program, but I didn't even know about it. And, at the end of the day, it's really nobody's job. It's not like a realtor or a lender's job to be like, hey, did you know that there's this program? If instead of just getting your house here, you can go get here. Sometimes I feel like realtors and lenders don't necessarily want to give too much, not necessarily give, but I feel like they don't want to say too much to someone, especially someone new that they're dealing with, because they don't necessarily want to scare them away or maybe put too much on their plate. I don't know, but out of all the realtors and lenders that I've ever dealt with, I've never heard them bring up I've never heard them be like, hey, have you heard of this? Or there's this program out there. Did you know about this? Like, it's just, maybe it's just the people that I've dealt with, but I've never heard of it. So it's like, it just came from me just being curious, going down rabbit holes, looking for stuff, and I landed on this program. So many first-time home buyers have never heard about a mortgage credit certificate. This guy never heard of it until after I think I already had closed. I don't even know how. I didn't hear about this until I didn't find out about this until about 2021, I want to say, or maybe, yeah, like 2021, like the beginning of 2021 is when I found out about this program, which is unfortunate because an MCC can save a homeowner some serious money over the life of their first mortgage loan, starting the very first year. When an MCC is issued to a homeowner at the same time that they close their new mortgage, that's the key. You have to do it when you close your mortgage. He or she, or whatever you go by, will be able to file for a tax credit on their next year's federal income taxes. The credit for the GSFA MCC, all these acronyms, program is 20% of the annual mortgage interest paid. It is a dollar for dollar reduction in federal income tax liability. So pretty much, like for instance, if I would have done it out here in Vegas, the maximum per year is 2,000, and over the lifetime, most loans are 30 years. So that could have potentially been 60,000 saved, right? So these are the exact numbers. So it's all based on, the interest paid and all that stuff, but it can be up to $2,000. And let's see if that's the same for here. And here's kind of like a good example, getting that credit. I'm all about, you know what I'm saying? I don't know about you guys, but if there's a way for me to be able to save money, get money back, I'm all for that. I don't know about you guys. I don't know if you guys are just so rich that you don't care about saving money. That's dope. I want to be you guys one of these days. I want to be like that, to where I just don't even care about none of that. But yeah, I want to see if it talks about the 2,000, if that's the case for here. Yeah, but anyways, look into that. Look into it for your area. Here in the state of Nevada, it's only based in certain areas, and Henderson was one of the areas. Someone mentioned it in the chat. That's the only reason I bring it up. But Henderson is one of the areas that this qualifies for. This is something that you have to do the time that you're closing. So when you go to close, there's a form that you print out. This is put in with that, and then it kicks in right away. So good stuff. Let me see if there's anything else on here. So yeah, you guys go through this, take a look at, some of these programs. I did a whole class on this already, so I kind of, don't want to run through it so much again. 5%, you get up to 5% of the loan amount. If you find a couple other grants out there, which I'm sure California does have some, you could potentially be covering all of it. So if you use like the 3.5%, if you qualify for, let's say, FHA, you qualify for putting 3.5% down. You utilize this 5% on top of that. That's 8.5%. That's going to cover your property, right? Because like I told you guys, it's usually 5 to 7% in total. Your down payment, if you're putting, that's if you're putting 3.5% down, if you qualify to put 3.5% or less down, and with your closing costs and all that, is going to come out to about 5 to 7%, just depending on what you got going on with your loan documents, what you get rolled into it, what type of fees your lenders have. All these different things play into place. Assistance can be used towards down payment and or closing costs. Home buyer does not have to be a first-time home buyer. Credit score. Most of these programs, you guys, just get your credit score. I would say just get your credit to about the 700s. Just work on it. It's not really difficult. So many people focus so much on credit. I'm not a big person on credit. Credit is good for people who need to borrow money, right? The goal is to kind of get away from borrowing money and you become your own bank. But until you get there, you want to leverage and utilize these programs as best as you can. And the best way to do that is to be able to meet or exceed these programs so they don't even think twice about giving you certain stuff. Once your credit kind of reaches a certain point, you'll notice that you'll qualify for a lot of stuff more faster. So just work on, I would say, the sweet spot. If you can get your credit up to about a 700, then you really won't have to worry about too much of anything. You'll get a lot lower interest rates. It'll be a lot easier to borrow money. But like I said, only borrow money if you have a good game plan for it. Don't just be borrowing money to upgrade your lifestyle. If that's what you want to do, go for it. But you'll have to deal with those consequences later. Debt to income up to 55%, which is really good in some circumstances. And a lot of places have been easing up on their debt to income ratios. So pretty much take all your debts you have versus your income. That's going to let you know what your debt to income ratio is. There's calculators. You guys can just Google debt to income ratio calculator. You can plug in everything if you don't know how to do the math. It's literally debt to income. I mean, it doesn't get any more straightforward than that. But this is really high. So most lenders typically do 50% or less, some even 45% or less. So 55% is pretty high. I'm noticing a lot of lenders are kind of easing up on this. They're kind of going to 50 to some are even 60%, which is really crazy. Because, if your debts are eating up 60%, you're in a lot of trouble and you shouldn't be looking at getting a house. You should be focused on your finances first. 1-unit residences, condos, townhomes, and manufactured homes are allowed. Various first mortgage loan types are available to fit the needs of home buyers. So FHA, VA, and USDA. No income limits for FHA and VA mortgage loans. So here's how you can apply and get all that good information. So like I said, don't make this stuff difficult. The thing about real estate is it seems a lot more complicated than it is. And I know it's easier for me to say now. I remember, before even thinking about real estate, before even getting into real estate, I still remember that feeling that I had. I still remember thinking that it was impossible and, not even knowing anything about real estate. Once you guys break that first door down, there's really no looking back. Once you kind of get into it and you kind of really see kind of what's going on, it's kind of like one of them things that once you get the knowledge of something, you can't unlearn that stuff. So once you guys do get a property, and then just in time, you just kind of see it just kind of makes sense. You're like, man, I'm paying, when I was renting, my rent went up every year, but it's like now it's okay. My rent is the exact same. So now it's on me to adjust my lifestyle around that to benefit myself the best that I can. So instead of, hey, my rent is staying the same, let me keep increasing my other expenses every year because I know that my rent isn't going to go up. It's like, instead of doing that, it's like, hey, how can I figure out paying down my loan faster? And we actually Budget Dog teaches classes on things like that, on how to pay off your mortgage a lot quicker, do a lot of things just to get yourself in a better position. I truly, a lot of this, some of the things I say is very opinion based. I'm a very statistical type of person. I like to look at numbers, research, history repeats itself. And I truly feel like we're heading towards crazy times, especially kind of where we're going with AI. A lot of these big companies are really buying up a lot of real estate, and it's just getting harder and harder for anyone that's middle class, and even, you know, some people that are on the lower side of the upper class are going to be affected as well, especially people that aren't good with their finances, people that are very debt heavy. I made a post earlier. If you guys take any financial advice from me, my advice would be to get rid of your debt as fast as you possibly can. If you guys have mortgage, or if you guys have loans out on a vehicle, get those paid off as quick as you can, or maybe even trade down your vehicle, and then try to get a property, you know, as soon as you can. As long as everything is in order, as long as everything else is in order, your debts are taken care of, then I will focus on, you know, locking up a deal. I feel like we're heading towards an area to where there's not going to be no looking back. Once we break certain, you know, thresholds, you can't go back, right? And if you guys can just go look at in the history and time, I did a whole class doing numbers about what rent was back then versus what it is now, what home values were versus it is now. There's over a century of numbers for us to go back and look at. And in that century, real estate has done nothing but go up. Rent has done nothing but go up. The cost of goods have done nothing but go up. Everything keeps going up. So, you know, everyone keeps screaming crash and all these things like, yeah, okay, there might be a small little pullback, but then when things run up, what does it do? It runs past whatever that high was. So if this was the high and it comes back down here, eventually it's going to go up here, right? And then eventually where that high used to be, it might come back down close to that again. And then that high that was all the way up, it's going to go even higher. So it's like the high eventually will become the low. Does that make sense to you guys? Hopefully that makes sense. But like I said, we're heading towards very interesting times with a lot of stuff in the world going on. So it's like, it's good to educate yourself and know what's going on in the world, but I don't necessarily make that my prime focus, right? My prime focus is assets over liabilities. I don't care what's going on in the world. I need to keep increasing my assets. That way I don't have to worry about liabilities. That way I don't have to worry about whatever happens in the world. I don't want to be stressing. I don't want money to be something that I stress about. I stress about money. I've seen people stress about money my entire life. It was always an issue. It was always a foe that people didn't want to talk about. And I think that's insane. I think that's crazy. In a perfect world, I wish people could have the basic needs covered, right? Food, shelter, and clothing, right? In a perfect world, people need to wake up and see what reality is versus what they want. And what reality is, we live in a dog eat dog world. I don't make the rules. I hate that. The thing about me is I'm a traveler. I've been to a lot of other countries and I see how a lot of these countries take care of their people, you know, some better than others. But we have to live with whatever our reality is. We have to live with where, you know, we have to be aware with where we're at and where we're living. And in this country, it's a dog eat dog world. We just seen it with COVID, with everything that happened. Why do you think only certain businesses were allowed to stay open? Do you guys really think companies like Starbucks was a necessity, like a need? Places that have the same things like I forget what store was closed, but certain stores were still allowed to stay open that necessarily didn't need to be open. But a lot of these other stores got forced out, pushed out of business, and, you know, a whole different side of things that I really don't feel like getting into right now. But you guys kind of get what I'm saying and get where I'm going at, I hope. So anyways, if you guys take anything from me, please take advantage of these programs, see what your state offers, work it to your advantage, get rid of those debts. It's killing us. It's killing us as an economy. It's killing people's pockets. People just love to spend, which is crazy. There's nothing wrong with spending if you have the funds, right? And it's the people that are spending the most that don't have the funds to spend that type of money. So at some point, you have to hold yourself accountable and be like, okay, it's time for me to really buckle down and kind of keep my focus on what it is that I'm trying to get to. Hopefully that's financial freedom. Hopefully that's time freedom. Hopefully that's location freedom. So you guys can focus on the things that matter to you and what are important to you. And I don't think paying your credit card every month is important or matters to you. I don't think, a car. I know there's a lot of people that love their cars and they're car fanatics, but it's like, you know, family, friends, travel, whatever it is, you know, being able to create whatever, you know, whatever you guys are into. I know everyone's likes are going to be different. Those things become a lot more enjoyable when you don't owe anybody money. You sleep different at night when you don't owe anybody money. You wake up differently in the morning when you don't owe anybody money, right? Life looks different when you don't owe anybody anything, and your assets continue to keep growing and your liabilities kind of just keep getting lower and lower and lower. All right. Do you guys have any questions for me before we start to wrap this up? Y'all have me on here. I have myself on here ranting. But I hope you know you guys get what I'm trying to get at and what I'm talking about. Do you guys have any questions about anything for me before we wrap this up? Just on that. And if any of you guys are in the new chat in the Well Squad, we pushed on one, so we got our money back, and it's looking not good for the Phillies game, or let's see, the Yankees, the Phillies, but the Mets. The Mets can pull through for us. That'll cover a lot of stuff. For information, appreciate it. Of course, no problem. Do these programs work if you were buying out of your home state? So if you're moving to that state, so I'm sure if you start applying, they'll want to see, you know, I'm not sure exactly if they're going to ask for proof of if you're, you know, relocating, but it's going to have to be your primary residence. So when you use these first-time homebuyer programs, when you utilize these down payment assistance programs, the property that you're living in has to be your primary resident. Some of them have like a window. It might be 60 to 90 days leeway that you have. Like if you are in transition from, you know, moving from job to this or whatever the case may be. So yes, you can utilize the programs, but it has to be for your primary resident. Hopefully that answers your question and makes sense to you. Problem. All right. No problem, you guys. You guys have any other questions for me before we wrap this up? I already went on my rant, so I'm not gonna have no closing words for you guys unless you guys want me to give you guys something. I can, you know, I'm always good for that. What's your IG? It's NoTimeZone. It's NOO time zone. Don't fall for the fake accounts. And please, you guys, if any, listen, a lot of people hit me up about fake accounts, reaching out to them. If anyone is offering you anything and you have to send them money or you have to send them some information, please don't send them money. Don't send them your information. If someone's telling you, hey, this, that, I don't care how sweet or how good it sounds, especially if it's not anybody that you've ever met, that you don't know, it's just on social media type stuff. In what world is someone going to come up to you, all right, on the street and say, hey, I have this opportunity. You give me 1,000, I can turn it into 1,500. Like, when is that going to ever happen? That's never going to happen. People have to use their brain sometime. And it's like, man, it sucks that people get scammed and send people money to these people doing this. Don't send anybody your information. Don't send anybody any money. Please don't do that. Please don't do that. I don't like seeing people get scammed. And I don't want to say they deserve it because nobody deserves to be scammed out of anything. But to me, that's somebody taking the short road. So instead of, someone's reaching out to you and say, hey, I can help you turn $1,500 into this. And you're like, well, teach me how to do it. Like, I don't want to send you your money. Like, show me how to fish, right? Teach me how to fish and then I can do it myself. I don't need you to do it. So people that, if you're looking to get rich quick, if you guys think that is even a possibility, I'm telling you right now, it's not possible. Getting rich quick like that, you know, hitting the lottery and all that stuff, just get all that out your mind. Put in the work, put in the grind, it will come. It might be a year for some people, it might be 5 years for some people, it might be 10 years. But the fact is, you got it the right way, you got it on your own, you got the knowledge along the way, and it's something that you'll never forget, right? Once you learn how to make money on your own terms, you'll never forget how to do it. And then it's on you if you want to continue doing it. And if you want to multiply that, then you'll just have to get creative and figure out ways to increase that. But it's definitely possible, especially in today's age with, you know, how accessible everything is, and people love to spend money. People shop, you know, people love to spend money. You can provide a service. You can learn the stock market. You can sell something, do something, offer something, provide something. Find a way to make life easier for somebody, and there's your way, you know, to making money on your own terms. But all right, you guys, appreciate all of you taking the time out of your day to attend class. Hopefully I was able to teach you guys a little something, help those of you guys out that live in Cali that were in the class, and just, you know, whatever state you guys are in. If you guys ever need me, please reach out in the Discord. I'm always here to help you guys out. If you have any other questions, or maybe you think of something later down the road, please don't, you know, hesitate to reach out. That's why I'm here. Make sure you guys are hitting up the other classes. A lot of good stuff. Like I said, we have classes 6 days a week. Only day we don't have a class on anything is Sundays. How to build a business, how to get your finances right, how to invest for yourself and your family, how to navigate through the stock market, how to understand this crypto that's about to take over, you know, crypto and DeFi, all that stuff. Great stuff. So attend the classes. They're all up in the Wealth Squad University. If you guys have missed anything, like I said, take time for yourself to get knowledge so you can get to where you're trying to go a little bit quicker. All right. That's all I got for you guys. I appreciate you guys. I hope you have a great rest of your evening, and I will get with you guys later.